Getting it hard on 170. Back with another EP. And y'all do your boy a favor. When y'all roll on in, hit that like button for your boy. Greatly appreciate it. Today we here with the fight breakdown and prediction between Trevor, I call him Trevor, between Trevor Bryant and Daniel Dubois. This weekend, it's quite a few fights this weekend. Not a whole bunch of, major fights this weekend, but quite a few fights this weekend. You know what I mean? FanDuel got about 15 fights that you could bet on. You know what I mean? This weekend, Trevor Bryant, Daniel Dubois being the big one for Saturday. You know, we had Nonito Donaire versus Monster Inoue Tuesday. That probably would have been the biggest fight, this week. But this Saturday, we got Trevor Bryant versus Daniel Dubois. I see my guy Alex Alberto G already in the chat. I'm gonna bring the screen up, Alex. We gonna talk about it, Alex. My guy Alex Alberto G said he got Dubois in one. Y'all do your boy a favor. When y'all roll on in, hit that like button for your boy. Greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. But hell yeah, we got Trevor Bryant versus Dubois. Dubois, in his last two fights, is coming off knockout victories. The two guys' name are swaying me right now. But we go remember. I'm gonna remember when once we get to the box rig, once I get the box rigs up. But he coming out two consecutive knockout victories. You know what I mean? But the fight before that, he fought Joe Joyce, and against Joe Joyce, he received his first and only loss of his career. You know what I mean? Trevor Bryant is a undefeated fighter. I do know Trevor Bryant's record. 22-0. You know what I mean? He's an undefeated fighter. Joe Joyce's only loss. I said Joe Joyce. Daniel Dubois' only loss is to Joe Joyce. You know what I mean? Ain't no shame in losing to Joe Joyce type deal. But this fight is happening Saturday. This is a Don King promotion card. Yes, Don King is still in the game. Shout out, brother Don King. I just watched the press conference. Actually, was good. Just do. Appreciate you, just do. Appreciate you sliding through. I just watched the press conference. Don King, still the same Don King. You know what I mean? He don't talk as fast. He ain't as spry as he used to be, but he still, got that same mindset and energy. He's still out there dropping bombs. Let me tell y'all what Don King said real quick. Don King, his final words to Daniel Dubois was what's up, Daniel? You gonna be with me eventually, don't it? We ain't gonna say nothing. We ain't gotta talk about it, but you gonna be with me eventually. You know it. I said, bro, Don King ain't changed a little bit. Appreciate y'all for sliding through this. John Skills, what's good? Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all hit that like button when y'all roll on in. I'm about to get this box Rex up, bring my camera up, and we go to this breakdown. You know how we do it. We gonna do it the only way we do it on Southern T. About to get this camera up. About to get this screen share with y'all. We about to get into it. We got fight breakdown prediction between Trevor Bryant and Daniel Dubois. This shouldn't take that long, y'all. You know what I mean? Heavyweight fight this weekend, heavyweight action this weekend. You know what I mean? Coming out the Donaire and Inoue fight Tuesday. About to get that box Rex up. Boom. Let's get it. Trevor Bryant, 22-0, 15 KOs. Trevor Bryant is 32 years old. He stands at 6'4" with a 79-inch arm reach. Trevor Bryant last fight was against Jonathan Gertie, in which, it was a split decision. He got the split decision win over Jonathan Gertie, who was undefeated at the time. Jonathan Gertie, 17-1, 2 draws, 10 KOs. Jonathan Gertie, split decision loss to Trevor Bryant. We go down Trevor Bryant list. He got Bermain Stavern. If Bermain Stavern sounds familiar to you, the Bermain Stavern, 25-5-1. If that name sounds familiar to you, it's because Bermain Stavern is the guy who took Deontay Wilder the distance the very first time. And if this name sounds familiar to you, it's because you know it's Bomb Squad all motherfucking day. But we getting our subject. But yes, Trevor Bryant has a win over Bermane Stiverne, a knockout win over Bermane Stiverne. Actually, you know what I mean? Then you got, BJ Flores, Francisco Russell, Galen Brown, a bunch of guys that we don't know. Station Frazier, a bunch of guys, that we don't know. Trevor Bryant is facing off in this fight against Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois, as I mentioned earlier, has that one loss to Joe Joyce, but he's 17-1 with 16 KOs. Daniel Dubois is 24 years old, 6'5", with a 78-inch arm reach. Is Daniel Dubois. A lot like Trevor Bryant, Daniel Dubois hasn't really fought a bunch of the who's who at the heavyweight division. But, as I mentioned earlier, he has that loss to Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce, 13-0, 12 KOs. I'm high on Joe Joyce, myself. I think Joe Joyce has the ability to be a heavyweight champion, one day. So ain't no shame in losing to Joe Joyce. But then you got guys like Joe Cusimano, who he knocked out in the first. Then you got the guy like Bunda Andino, who he knocked out in the second. Those are the two knockouts I say he coming off of right there. Those two guys. Then, Ricardo Snyder's, guys we don't know. Second round knockout, first round knockout, fifth round knockout. Second round knockout. He went to points, then TKO, So Daniel Dubois pretty much is knocking out everything, in sight. He either win. Every win he has is a knockout except for one. He has that loss to Joe Joyce. I watched both of these guys' last fights live, but the fight I want to talk about, and in particular, I'm going to talk about Trevor Bryant's last fight, and I'm going to talk about Daniel Dubois 2 fights ago against Joe Joyce. In Trevor Bryant's last fight, I'm going to be real with y'all, I was extremely underwhelmed with Trevor Bryant. I've been counted. What's good, Dwayne? I can't click your comment, but I see you just came in the bid. I see you on the other screen, Dwayne. What's good, pimp? Appreciate you sliding through this junk. Y'all do your boy a favor. Hit that like button when you roll on in. But yeah, I was disappointed in Trevor Bryant's last performance. I actually been kind of disappointed with Trevor Bryant for a couple years now. I feel like Trevor Bryant got complacent over the last year or so. He been coming in, extremely out of shape, even more out of shape. It's like he just been getting heavier and heavier over the years type deal is Trevor Bryant. Hold on for a second, y'all. Hold on for 1 second. Hold on for a second, y'all. Y'all, bro, hit that like button for your boy. Hit that like button for your boy. Yeah. Okay. Appreciate you. Yeah. But I've been real disappointed with Trevor Bryant these last two years. You know what I mean? I've been real disappointed when he been coming in, out of shape, heavy. Now his last fight in particular against Jonathan Gertie, I highlighted there for a reason. Gertrude, I highlighted there for a reason. Because it was a split decision. This guy's 5'11" with a 72-inch arm reach, and Trevor Bryant fought him to a split decision. Now, I watched this fight, you know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you something. I think Trevor Bryant, kind of got a gift in this one. You know what I mean? If I'm being real, I think he kind of got a gift. I'm just being real. Trevor Bryant hasn't been impressing me, lately. He's actually been digressing rather than progressing as he gets up in age. You know what I mean? Doesn't move the same. Like I said, his body is just not been the same. You know what I mean? I don't know whether he got comfortable. He getting those championship checks now. This is a fight for the WBA regular belt. So maybe he getting those championship checks now, you know what I mean, or whatever. But I think it's an uphill battle going up against Daniel Dubois. Now I want to hit on Daniel Dubois for a minute. And he's 17-1. That one loss is to Joe Joyce. And that fight with Joe Joyce originally, I was real hard on, Daniel Dubois. I was real hard on, in that loss. You know what I mean? Because I was like, bro, you quit. You know what I mean? You got stopped by a jab and all that good shit. But I went back and I watched that fight earlier today. And I think my assessment of Joe Joyce, of Daniel Dubois against Joe Joyce was kind of unfair originally. Daniel Dubois actually did, pretty good in that fight the first, 7 rounds or so, the first 6 to 7 rounds. You know what I mean? Extremely good. Box well, jab well, hit Joe Joyce with some hella right hands. The thing was that Joe Joyce is a different kind of monster. When I mentioned Joe Joyce earlier, I was like ability and durability. Joe Joyce took a lot of shots from Daniel Dubois, in that fight. I think Joe Joyce has the best chin in boxing, probably the most durable guy in boxing. He took a lot of shots against Daniel Dubois, and Daniel Dubois, couldn't get him out of there. He buckled Joe Joyce a few times, but Joe Joyce never failed. You know what I mean? Joe Joyce probably got one of the hardest hits, in the game type deal. He never failed. And he was able, Joe Joyce was landing his jab, in between all that. Now, then Dubois was actually getting off on Joe Joyce, is what I noticed after I went back and watched it. He was doing a good job putting hands on Joe Joyce. But, Joe Joyce was taking it, absorbing it. He was still getting his jabs in, through, in between all that. And eventually that jab caught up with Dubois. The boy slowed down a little bit, and Joe Joyce capitalized on it. But looking back on it, the boys didn't really box as bad as I thought he did. You know what I mean? Originally, when I watched the fight, I said all that to say I think in this fight, Daniel Dubois is going to knock Trevor Byran out. You know what I mean? I think Trevor Byran is kind of, unmotivated, you know what I mean, right now. Daniel Dubois, I think he gonna knock him out, man. I think it's gonna be an early knockout. If this fight go past 4 rounds, I'd be surprised. Trevor Byran hasn't had, much foot or head movement lately. Daniel Dubois, outside of that Joe Joyce, and even in that fight, if you watch the first 6 rounds where Dubois was winning, if you ask me, you watch the first 6 rounds, Dubois really hasn't, looked bad in his career outside of, him getting his orbital broken by Joe Joyce. I don't think maybe Dubois loses another fight in his career. Don't think it's gonna be Trevor Byran. And look, something I want to highlight that Daniel Dubois is 24 years old. Most of the top heavyweights right now are in their 30s and up. You know what I mean? So Daniel Dubois is in a good situation. You know what I mean? He fight Trevor Byran, get the regular strap. You know what I mean? He very well could get his hands on one of those major belts later. You know what I mean? In about 2 or 3 years, about 3 or 4 years, all the top heavyweights will be gone. And Dubois will be 27, 28 years old. You know what I mean? So I think if Dubois is to get another loss in his career, don't think it's gonna be Trevor Byran. But I got Daniel Dubois by third round KO over Trevor Byran. I think in the first in the first round, Trevor Byran go box, kind of good. He gonna throw Dubois off with his jab a little bit, but I think Dubois just eventually gonna be too big and too strong. He go just punch through Trevor Byran, and he go eventually get him out of there. I got Trevor Byran by third round knockout. I got Daniel Dubois by third round knockout over Trevor Byran. But that's all I got. Skin Hardaway Southern T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.